Woo! What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You can follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily. And of course, hop into Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
Yes. Night 2 here. You know, we have a lot of quicker little nights here because not a lot of news going on. But, you know, we always take things always to the next level here and get deeper into discussions. Whatever the news of the day may be usually points us in that way. So expect to do the same thing today. We're going to touch up on a couple definite, decent updates for our Cowboys. And, of course, discuss everything with you guys in the chat. But before we get to that, baby, we got to shout out those that make this thing go on the nightly. And this time around, we got some ballers on the board here. In fact, the streak leaders. So we say here, sponsor of the week, Mark Hovsepian, the man from Hawaii, much love. The all-time record holder with 15 weeks in a row there. He's repping it here for week 1 again for Mr. Mark Hovsepian. And then Jason Renfro, much love to him. He's the Cash App king. He's going back-to-back like our 90s Cowboys on the Cash App. And again, he has the all-time record on that side of the board with 20 weeks in a row. He also won the jersey on our 6-year anniversary raffle. Much love to him. Frame Rippers, Voodoo, Alpha. He got the second-place T-shirt, so appreciate all you guys for your love and support throughout the last couple of weeks for our 6th year here. We're into our 7th now here on YouTube. And, of course, back to Mark Hovsepian, 97 Osa Odigizua points. In that stream, boss, there, 97 points, almost fully loaded. Now look right above that, the gifting leaders. We just talked about Skeptical Fan. Skeptical Fan. We'll be talking about Skeptical Fan because he did have a pre-stream thanks, a $2 thanks, and a Go Cowboys for one of our previous videos. And then he also had a pre-stream gifting membership.
That's right, a very lucky Joe Martinez.
Yes.
Congrats to you because Skeptical Fan did gift that membership.
Yes. And that, of course, adds him. He's in first place on the overall board this week, Mr. Skeptical Fan. But he's also, this month, 21 gifted memberships. Jason Renfro in second place with 3 gifted memberships. But the last 2 months, back-to-back, maybe a three-peat now for Skeptical Fan. He's got the controls there. Last month, 35 gifted memberships. He's at 21 already. So much love to the man staying skeptical. And he's currently first place this week. As far as the Cash App board, real quick, easy to say, no one's in there, guys. It's empty this week. No one. Empty. So far. So Jason Renfro might be coming for that 3-peat. Right now, no one's in there. A couple of ways to help out the channel, of course, baby, as we roll into this. But first, I wanted to say with the super chats, the membership gifting, the memberships and all that stuff, star-level members. Shout all 5 of the family out on that side of things. Dwayne Broussard, Skeptical Fan. Of course, Jason Renfro, Mary Alvarez, and all the way from Australia, the other side of the earth. Lincoln Kane, much love to you guys in the star level membership side. But yes, there's those ways, gifting membership thanks. And there's also 4 other quick ways here. It kind of falls into the Cash App crownage, right? The king of the Cash App can get it through these combination of ways.
Of course, the money sign MyCowboysFamily, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, of course, that Streamlabs link lets your comment show up right here on screen, just like a super chat.
Yeah. So, and as we get rolling, baby, quickie or not, who's in the house tonight to discuss our Cowboy chat?
We have Micah in the house. What's up? Much love. And hey, that's not a bad idea. He said we should add a woo emoji.
Yeah, I think I actually screenshotted that, so I would not forget that for later. So we might be going that route.
We have Thomas Garrett, the superior. Garrett, of course. Spoony Dog, what's up? Much love. Even Leaside Herald had to come and talk real football. Jason Renfro, much love to you. Of course, the Cash App King. We have Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical, representing, of course, as the membership man.
Hell yeah.
Not sure what the official terminology is that we're using there. I call him membership man. So, Joe Martinez, hello and hi. We have Freedom First in the house. What's up? Much love. So, I think that's everyone here so far. So, of course, as people, continue to trickle on in, I'll make sure to continue to give them their shout-outs, like Rolando Rodriguez, all the way from South Texas, coming through, rolling in here now. So, he said, Jerry always waits too long to sign their players. Sign Diggs, CD, and Dak.
Hey,
go Cowboys!
I hear you, man. Don't expect that from the Joneses. They might get one of these guys on time like CeeDee Lamb or something like this with enough time to spare. But I think they always wait to the end. They always think that deadlines make deals. It usually makes deals for the player. So, yeah, I don't know.
And I guess their agent by default. But outside of that, yeah, that's it.
So let's get into the NFL stuff real quick, guys. The Saints star running back Alvin Kamara pleaded guilty today to a lesser misdemeanor charge for his alleged role in a Las Vegas fight. We saw the video. It was pretty brutal there, stomping someone's head in there. Kamara will have to do community service and pay $100,000 to the victim for medical bills. So not that much. They were pretty light on the plea down there. Now, Alvin Kamara, just like Zeke, but Zeke wasn't even found guilty. He didn't plead anything because there was no charges. There was no case. The charges were dropped for Zeke. But Alvin Kamara is still subject to possible suspension by the NFL, as we know with the Zeke situation, which, again, has punished several players in the past, even though they were not convicted or charges were dropped, as I said with Zeke. But this paves the way for the NFL to hand out the discipline. So, again, NFL spokesman today even said after this ruling, we quote, "We have been closely monitoring all developments in the matter, which still remains under review." So expect Alvin Kamara, if you think about fantasy league, whatever, expect Alvin Kamara to miss a couple games this year. Now, I know we have a story here. It's intertwines politics and the Cowboys. And it's mainly because of the head honcho in Dallas. You guys know him, Jerry Jones. Now, there's a report out there that there's a Supreme Court justice that's kind of befriended Jerry Jones and maybe did some stuff, I guess you could say, could be considered illegally, receiving gifts. I don't know. Maybe you have the article. You have the information. What's up? What's the deal?
So, of course, guys, we know that Jerry Jones has friends in lots of different places. But apparently, we have an extra player. They got an extra ring somehow. Jokes aside, guys. Apparently, Justice Clarence Thomas has a Super Bowl ring that was gifted to him by Jerry Jones himself. So, as part of some investigations that have been happening, it pretty much puts it right out there, straight up says it. Jerry gave him that Super Bowl ring, and of course, there's lots of motivations and reasons for Jerry doing that.
Remember, Clarence Thomas, flown on Jerry Jones's plane on his private jet. Mm-hmm. He attended training camp practices, and when the Cowboys played in Washington, Clarence Thomas sat in Jerry Jones's private suite there. Again, guys, this is an article came out bluntly, says that Jerry Jones, like you said, gave Clarence Thomas a Super Bowl ring. Wash my hand, whatever that saying goes. So go ahead, baby. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to draw.
There's really not too much more to add to that, just other than the fact that obviously with the current decision to strike down affirmative action in colleges and stuff. Basically, there's some reports that obviously the NFL will no longer be able to enact the Rooney Rule when it comes to the coaches and head coaches and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how the NFL kind of handles that delicate situation. And of course, I'm sure Jerry's not going to get any kind of shit from this, at least on his side, right? He's not the one who technically has an ethical code that he violated. Right, no, he's fine. It's more about the Supreme Court justice receiving a gift. I'm surprised that Jerry's out here, whining and dining, he always top elected officials. It's about that power, Oh, yeah. And that's but I just want to know why out of all the things, you give him a Super Bowl ring specifically? Well, he also gave him a lot of jet rides and, But you know what? A private jet is a dime a dozen. A Super Bowl ring is special. That's why I said, I'm like, damn. But Jerry. He also gives Jerry Jones' suite in RFK and where the Washington Commanders play. Just saying all these things are kind of... that could be considered favors, and if you vote a certain way to help Jerry's pocket, that could be looked upon as maybe bribing, right? I'm just saying. All I see is Jerry Jones half-assing this, right? if he's willing to do this with Supreme Court justice, then why have we not bribed our way into another Super Bowl? That's all I'm saying, Jerry. Yeah, for those people that think that you could be using your money for much better reasons. Yeah, let's work on the football side here, Jerry, not the other side. Anyways. There you go, guys.
quick little breakdown of what went down there. And when you guys hear this, and I'm sure this story will continue to come out and stay around in the news for a little bit, along with all the other stuff going on in the political side of things. But let's move on back to the football side of things, which today, as we said, Tuesday, is the 2023 NFL supplemental draft. So today there was a draft, right? It wasn't a lot of fun, guys. There were only 2 players that were granted eligibility. Former Jackson State wide receiver Malachi Wideman, and of course the guy we talked about here, former Purdue receiver Milton Wright. But he did so badly on his kind of his combine. Man, they both basically with no chance they were going to get drafted. And again, both these guys were graded by most people as seventh round or undrafted guys.
Mm-hmm.
So keep that in mind as today's draft went by. I mean, even the graders said there's no way anyone was going to pick them up unless they maybe go on a 7th round pick. Supplemental draft came and went, and not one player. Neither of these guys, Malachi Wideman, Milton Wright, both receivers, they both did not get selected in this supplemental draft. As expected, now they're a free agent in the NFL. And, again, the bigger name of the two there, Purdue's receiver Milton Wright, who was not selected in this draft today, guys, has workouts still set up with a couple NFL teams, and it's set up for July 24th and July 25th. That's right before the Cowboys training camp. So, just saying, you never know. Teams are working these guys out that did not get drafted in the supplemental draft. So you got 2 more guys in the mix now that are free agents. Won't hurt to bring these guys in and let them compete for something, I guess. The 2 receivers, do we need any more? Jerry Jones, he likes his receivers. I don't know what to say. Now, staying with our Dallas Cowboys here, and some new hires. Now, again, I know I'm not going to dive too deeply on the analytics side of things, but we do have another guy joining the crew here. Now, maybe a couple months ago, that's not John Park.
You sure?
I don't know why that changed on me.
The family resemblance is uncanny.
I might have to do something here because
cracking up a little bit here. Let me go ahead and hit up the chat real quick. First of all, God Plan, Raul, even you, Lee Side, Cactus G, Double R in the house, Texas Twister, much love. Let me see who else is rolling in here. So, and hopefully we do win another Super Bowl. That's always the goal every time, right? It definitely must be good to be King Jerry Rolando Rodriguez. So, Cactus, you said Jerry donates equally to both political parties. Yeah, I don't know about equally, but definitely he's filling every pocket. Okay, it doesn't matter what color, what nationality, what gender, whatever. Like, just saying, if you're someone who can give Jerry what he wants, that's all that it's about, right? So, God Plan, not really a Raiders stream, and I don't really think we have any Raiders news or things to touch on. So.
Today, no Raiders stuff today, God Plan. Sorry about that. The Raiders, do have one update. Raiders suck. But outside of that, we're good.
Very important update. Aztec Aguilar 04, what's up? Much love to you as well.
In case you missed the memo. I do. I mean, I am updating this board here, baby. So go ahead, riff a little bit there, and then I'll get back to something here and get back to what I wanted to talk about our new analytics hire.
Kind of rolling back a little bit more towards the whole, possible Rooney Rule cancellation based on the current rules and things like that. Just because I'm assuming part of the Rooney Rule was based off the precedent that was set by affirmative action. So,
they could. That was in colleges. Remember that? So.
Yeah, I'm going to throw this out there. But, I could see Jerry turning this into almost a PR type of thing. Like, look at us still following the rules or still following the Rooney Rule or still following these guidelines, even though we don't have to type of thing. So, other than that, yeah.
A lot of teams probably do that. And look, maybe it made its mark already that maybe you didn't get enough, a bigger, wider range of choices now. Diverse choices in the NFL. Maybe they change a little bit, but, is it enough? Well, look, right now that's for colleges only, right? That's not for a workplace. So we'll see how that transpires in the future. Hopefully it doesn't affect anything. And, hopefully, I'm hoping because we found a lot of great coaches out of this Rooney Rule. So now, I don't know if there's any other comments, but I'm ready to roll on here, baby.
Let's keep it rolling.
Let's keep it going now. Sorry about that. First and foremost, though, Jason Renfro dropping the $1.33 holler in the Cash App and a Go Cowboys. He said, giving some love. And a giant Go Cowboys. So you got it right there. Mr. Jason Renfro, 133 in the place to be. He's in first place right now there on the Cash App. Trying to go for the three-peat. as he's also in second place behind Skeptical Fan on the overall board and on the, I guess, membership gifting for the month. Now, back to, I think I got everything set up here, guys, so I apologize for that delay. But let's start. A couple months ago, we did hire this guy right here, John Park, who is, fantastic guy from the Colts that we knew that he was the head of this department now. I mean, this guy was a sought-after analytical guy. And, again, the Cowboys this summer hired, I guess you call him the strategic, he's the director of strategic football operations, John Park. All right? Then, right after that, the person right below him, we hired her, Sarah Malapalli. And she was from the Ravens. She's the strategic football analyst that's like kind of second in command. We just hired another one today. Another strategic football analyst. That's what they're going by. And it's this guy right here, William Britt. That's the threesome right there. That's analytically going to take us to kind of new heights. And I do believe these are the best of the best.
Musketeers.
These are the best of the best, guys. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And let me just say that, and we do have some information on this guy. So if you guys are not familiar, we're going to fill you in on this guy in the middle here, William Britt. So again, multiple sources, of course, confirmed this earlier today. He spent the last 2 years as a data analyst for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He studied data science, computer science, and math at Centre College, where he played football and basketball. So he's got the nerd science side. He's got the football, sports side, but the football side specifically, of course, also basketball. Now, this latest analytics hire by the Cowboys has an academic background in data science, experience as a data analyst with the Steelers, like I said, and played the game at the D3 level, which at least at that, even any level right there, it's important. And remember, also, the guy in the bottom left here, John Park, he also played football. It was a high school level, but all right, these guys have the football background, right? As far as her public comments with Sarah Malapalli on the right side, since she joined the Ravens, she prioritizes learning from scouts, learning from coaches. So that's kind of her mark in there. And it's important because they're all going to have roles to play here. And this was, again, these are the things she likes to ask what info they want to find help with. So she's kind of the middle person there to kind of describe or detect what does the coach want, what kind of player do they need in their scheme and what fits in their schemes. That's her kind of role in there. She's been doing this since the Ravens. So this is a brain trust of the top analytical football minds, and we got them on our team. There's no salary cap on that, so we can pay them all we want. So now, opening up, let's go through some of the details of what William Britt specifically brings to the table. And he posted immediately when he got hired. Interesting, a great intro to his career at the Cowboys. What did he say, baby?
He said, extremely grateful for the opportunity for professional and personal development with the Steelers these past 2 years. Much love and respect to a winning organization that gave me my first opportunity in the sports analytics industry. Moving forward, I'm excited to take these skills with me as I pursue the next step of my career with the Cowboys. I'm ready to add value and insights while continuing to grow with the promising team. Please reach out if I can ever be of help in any way.
Love it. Okay, that's his intro quote to the Cowboys there. But let me just say this: while John Park and Sarah Malapalli here in front of him, they're both equally sharp minds. William Britt's data brain, it's about the data with him. He's about the stats, and that he's kind of his brain is full of numbers, and so again, his data brain is also helped. It's merged easier when he has that background and the time he's played, not just high school, but also college sports, college football specifically, again, and basketball. But we're talking about applying this to the sport he's working in. That's football. He played in that too, right? He played football, basketball, and baseball at DuPont Manual in Louisville. And then he played 4 years of football, and also 2 more years of basketball, like I said, in Centre College in Kentucky. So what's his entry into the pro kind of sports analytics world? Well, he's been working with the Steelers, like we said, since 2021. And again, he has some quotes coming out for what he said to Centre College last year. What did he say?
He said, quote, I just didn't know what level that might be to initially get started. Due to the somewhat newness of the field, the use of analytics has not been implemented at all levels just yet. As a result, I was expecting the only feasible opportunities to be ones with a professional organization, either major or minor league.
Now he continued, and you look at what he did with the Steelers. You look at some of the stuff he did there. Let's break it down. Steelers went beyond player analysis. All right, they didn't just analyze the players and then left it there for the coaches to do. They helped the coaching staff week in and week out when it comes to weekly game preparations for the opponent they are facing, and with their own players they got on their team, whether it's a player has to step up who'd been fit best in the scheme or against the opponent. They would do a lot of weekly game preparation, and they would do league-wide trend analysis to not just help the coach a little, help them by just placing out all the and displaying all of the options, but they also went in and kind of went into the weekly game preparation, which is major. This is a responsibility that was mentioned in the Cowboys analytics job posting. Remember that job? We talked about this a couple weeks ago. John Park posted this. He wanted people that had a background in kind of working with the coaches and being more involved week in, week out. That's what this job called for, and that's what he did in Pittsburgh. I'm pretty sure that he has some more information about it. Didn't he speak about this, baby?
He actually did. He said, "We like to look at tendencies, strengths, and weaknesses for not only our upcoming opponents, but our own team as well. And in addition, we study league-wide trends that have become prevalent in this game's current landscape, all with the goal to assist our coaching staff in making informed decisions. In the offseason with the draft and free agency, our time is spent more focused on player evaluation and roster development. As you can see, there's always work to be done." Man, like working in the NFL feels like you're constantly doing laundry and it's never done. So
that's regular life.
Oh.
So now, finishing up, as far as the Steelers is concerned, and his time there, he was also involved in the search for competitive advantages. And that's important. That's an important couple of words there. Again, competitive advantages, and we're talking about analytically. So this is like, people talk about, you got to use the gut. You got to use it. Yeah, of course they're going to use the gut, but they're going to be guided with some of these statistics, some of these numbers, some of these, again, competitive advantages. So basically what they're saying is they want to check for weaknesses of your opponent. They want to see what our weaknesses are and try to hide them analytically. They'll give the coaches kind of a heads up on that side of things. Now, I want to make sure everybody understands the game plan will not be reliant on the analytics, but the analytics will be used involving itself into the game day decision-making things and weekly kind of preparations for Mike McCarthy and the coaching staff. So this is a major help. This is like the computer coaching is kind of, you put the computer coach right next to McCarthy along with the other coaches. That's what it feels like to me. So when you look at this, guys, and you look at the fact that William Britt would specifically be a guy that would search for competitive advantages, and he also placed information within a broader contextual picture when it comes to the coaches in Pittsburgh. So, again, this is a blind spot for a lot of teams, ours included. It was a blind spot for a lot of teams and ours as well. An analytics team that can earn a coach's trust is extremely important. McCarthy's got to be able to earn all these guys' trust, and that's one thing they've all earned over their years, doing the analytics in the NFL.
And remember exactly what he said, their job as an analytics team is to give the coaches numbers or information so that they can make informed decisions. Right. That's why we kind of had that discussion, I think, a little bit yesterday. But when it comes to McCarthy, he's still going to go with, his gut instinct or his whatever. Right. But those instincts will hopefully be, based off of knowledge already. And if he does, think of something, very likely that he's still going to stop and say, wait a minute, but wait. So, because again, they have gone over a lot of this stuff, and now that he is involved in the offense, it does obviously impact things a little bit more, and maybe his need to know more about the analytics.
I think also, remember, the way things started, he brought all these guys, this whole team of guys. They were his buddies, and they weren't really, they were analytics, but they weren't analytics specialists like these three people are on our screen. So, we're
obviously taking them more seriously.
Very much so. That's not even McCarthy. That's about Jerry Jones is taking the analytics more seriously. And I think we probably have one of the best rooms analytically when it comes to that department. But I think the key here is, remember, the first year, Mike McCarthy couldn't even like call a fourth down play seemingly smoothly. It was always something going on, and I think that's the fact that he was not really allowed. And I'm going to say that I don't think he was allowed to be involved in Kellen Moore's game planning. Kellen Moore was the installer of the offense. He's the one that called the plays. So McCarthy it was not a smooth transition for him with Kellen Moore there. There's some other, the last 2 years we know that there's other disagreements like route options for receivers. That is something that's not McCarthy's ever done, but Kellen Moore loved it. That's gone this year. And of course we know the West Texas Toast offense and all that stuff, but the Texas Coast offense. But the point I'm trying to say is I'm pretty sure when you look at the way McCarthy's going to handle some of these decision-making stress points in the game, I think he's going to be a lot more ready than he has in the last 3 years, but especially his first year, let's say. And the reasoning for that is because of this team right there with him. They're step for step the way that he and Dak and the offense are supposed to be step for step when it comes to, weekly play call, weekly, game planning, and of course game day, running the show here. So I think on offense, I feel good about McCarthy even getting a little more help and assistance, a little more, a fantastic set of people working on a guide. An analytical guide for McCarthy when it comes to our opponent, maybe what they like to do, where they like to run, where they like to throw, where they like to blitz from, all these things. They will come up with that probably the best way possible and tell us how the best way to do that from their perspective. Then McCarthy takes it, analyzes it, and says, okay, I'll do it this way. I'm going to incorporate some of that. I'll incorporate none of that. But he'll always have in his mind to probably have it there game day as he's calling plays. Now, last thing from William Britt, and again, I was trying to say that about his search for competitive advantages is one of the main things he's done with the Steelers. So what he spoke about that, give us more information and more context on what he's talking about when it comes to searching for competitive advantages against opponents.
He said, I like to tell people all the time that our goal with analytics is not to be an end-all be-all. Our coaches, scouts, and front office personnel all have tremendous football IQ and acumen stemming from their decades of experience with the game. As analysts, we want to offer an additional perspective that allows us to remain creative and innovative with our search for competitive advantages. Our analysis allows our staff to scout more data within the quick turnaround times between game and draft events. We try to help see the whole forest, opposed to just a few trees, to get a more accurate contextual picture.
Love it. So there you go. Basically, they're not, it's almost like what we were saying. They're not trying to use analytics to be the answer to everything you do on the field, offensively and defensively. They're just a guide that helps the coaching staff, offensively and defensively, get a better picture of the whole game plan, the whole game, the opponent they have, and etc. So, personally, I don't know either any of these three people or how they will do when it comes to our analytics group, but based off of what they've done already and based on what the Cowboys are trying to do, it seems like you can't really get better when it comes to the analytics room, the analytics department, and the analytics staff. We cleaned house there and brought these three powerhouse players in the analytics game, sports analytics, into the house here, into Dallas. So I think it's going to pay off. Now, an example to this, Israel Mukuamu. He's a guy, number 24, that I've been talking about a lot this offseason. I think he's making a jump this year. I think he's going to be hitting that field with more snaps, whether it's safety, slot corner, or outside corner. Let's talk about it. This is what this analytics team would look at. For example, Israel Mukuamu. He was in very small sample size, but he was in 61 run defensive snaps last year, 91 coverage snaps, and he had 2 pass rushing snaps for him, Mukuamu. Again, he's a big guy, so he can run up there and rush up there and be kind of disguised as he's covering in the slot and then boom, blitzes. But where did he play? Now, those are the kind of plays he was in, but where did he play on the field? He had 72 snaps in the slot as a slot cornerback, nickel cornerback. He had 72 snaps, it's the same exact amount of snaps as a box safety. So you can see he's playing cornerback in the slot, or he's playing in the box run support as a hybrid linebacker type, tight end coverage guy, right? So I'm just saying, you see Mukuamu, his main spots he's been on the field is kind of in the middle to front part of our defense. On the coverage side, I don't know about press, but definitely going inside with the slot guy or playing the box safety kind of situation where he's kind of down in the box with the linebackers. Now, he also had 45 snaps, and he played that as a free safety. I don't see any outside cornerback snaps for him. That may be something they'll be working on as well. But 45 snaps last year as the free safety. I mean, he had to cover one. He had to cover the whole back end, or the cover 3, of course, the middle. So overall, last year, with a very small sample size, he had 12 solo tackles, 4 assists, 4 assisted tackles, 3 stops at the line of scrimmage, and 1 interception as well. Don't forget that one. He was targeted. 52.6 passer rating allowed against them. So quarterbacks cannot throw very well versus Izzy. Now, he also allowed only 8.8 yards per reception. If you think that's a lot, that's the best on the Cowboy team. The yardage allowed, per catch. And in the postseason, where he played a lot more, he had a 44.4 completion percentage when he was targeted. So quarterbacks throwing it 4 out of 10 times, you might get a completion. 49 total yards given up by Mukuamu in the playoffs. So those are the analytics. You'll see this team breaking down. Hey, look, this team has a bigger slot receiver. You want to use Israel Mukuamu there in the slot corner and box safety, or you want to go deeper and cover deep. You got him for that as well. That's the way these analytic people will be utilized. Now we got the man Mark Hovsepian kicking the door in and dropping that $2 holler.
Ooh,
he jumps right in second place of that $2. What did he say, baby?
He said, "I'd like to know how the O-line depth in Gallup look like."
Well, baby.
Well, the O-line depth obviously hasn't really changed too much, but at least on the Gallup front, things are looking very, very positive. We haven't seen too much of him working out or things like that, but we did see a small snippet of it. We did hear from him a handful of weeks ago where he also reiterated saying, that he was kind of also surprised at how much he was affected post-injury by the time he started coming back. But that right now, no longer an issue. He's going to be healthy, fully ready to go now for this season.
I'll hit my comment in a minute about what I think about this. But first, shouting out the man staying skeptical, keeping his first place spot alive with that gifted membership. Who was a lucky recipient, baby?
The man, the lunatic.
Ooh, much love to the lunatic in the house. The Godfather here, guys. You know him. Much love to Skeptical Fan for making it happen. And the big gifted membership there. Appreciate you so much, Skeptical. And again, hey, the man in the house, the lunatic. You know how he rolls. Appreciate you guys. Now, Skeptical in first, Mark in second, Jason in third. But he's first on the Cash App. And that's the way we're rolling here tonight here on MCF. We got another little section or two here. Don't worry. We're not done yet, guys. But definitely stay tuned. By the way, that $2 holler mark goes to 99 points on the Stream Boss.
There you go.
So appreciate Mark Hovsepian. Congrats to the lunatic. Much love to Skeptical Fan. And to everybody in the house. Go Cowboys! You know how we do. Ooh. So today, baby, there was a little number game today, I guess you can say. And that is, 7-11. That's the date, right? You got number 7 here. And you guys know number 11, Micah Parsons, right?
They go together like peanut butter and jelly.
I'm moving away from the wife there so you can see both of them in full honor there. But 7-11, that's today's date. And Micah Parsons posted, on Twitter and all his social media, happy 7-11, and he added Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs said happy 7-11, added Micah Parsons. They put up pictures of themselves. How cute. Anyways, the point is, it is 7-11 day. Much love to both of them. And, hey, I'm going to talk more about Trayvon Diggs tonight. But first, Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons, for real quick, guys. He inspired 250-plus kids in that Harrisburg youth camp he had. So, he hosted this free camp, and it was a whole community day thing. I just want to take one more quote from Micah on this. He said, quote, "This is simple. Caring, giving back, and just being there for someone who needs it. That's what it's all about." So again,
we love to see it.
Again, we have the NFL Films crew following him, so we're going to see him a lot more. I think behind the scenes, a little different side of Micah here is what we're expecting here from the NFL Film side. As they're marketing the next big star, number 11, the Lion, the Hungry Lion, Micah Parsons. Now that's the Micah Parsons side of things. Let's get back to Trayvon Diggs, because there's a reason why I have him listed here. And again, a lot of people, baby, don't they? A lot of people. They doubt Micah Parsons. I mean, they doubt Trayvon Diggs. They don't really doubt Micah Parsons, but they doubt Trayvon Diggs. So Trayvon Diggs, guys, no baby, Trayvon Diggs. He how high is he ranked? Like, I mean, a lot of people. I would say,
I'm not really sure what there is to doubt about Diggs. I know he didn't.
Well, a lot of people don't. That's my point. A lot of people don't like Diggs. They don't think we should sign him. They don't think we should. He's even that good of a cornerback.
Saying, all these people were denied oxygen at birth or something. Like I said, I genuinely don't get it. I know he did not have as dynamic or explosive of a year or season this past season, but his numbers are still crazy solid. I'm just saying he has consistently continued to do well and improve and pick things up. Like I said, he didn't have, like I said, the flashiest year, but it was not that bad.
I think the part here, I'm going to give you a clue. I agree with you. I think that he's a top 10 cornerback in the NFL, but I think a lot of people remember the Niner game, and he didn't go after Kittle. He dropped the interception. It would have really helped us at least get we would get points back in a way, right? They would save 3 points, make it a 1-possession game. I know other things could have happened. At that point, though, Trayvon should have had that. He messed up a couple of times, and that kind of stained his reputation. I think also, even the year he had the 11 interceptions, you remember what happened? Oh, he gave up so many yards. Oh, these yards given up, bull crap. So I think it's paying him as a guy with always just not that good. He's like, overhyped or whatever it may be. I personally seen him coverage. I think in Dan Quinn's defense, he's fantastic. And when you have the defensive pass rush coming, he's fantastic. When you add Stephon Gilmore on the other side, I think this is going to be Trayvon Diggs' best overall consistent season. He's not going to give up yards, and he's going to get picks this year, in my opinion. Remember we talked about yesterday, Micah Parsons, he was the 3rd highest ranked edge rusher according to the NFL execs, coaches, scouts, and other players. Micah was 6th. That was ranked as low as 6th, but overall he was ranked 3rd. Where is Trayvon Diggs ranked on this list? NFL coaches, execs, they ranked Trayvon Diggs, and he was the 8th. He was the 8th best, highest rated cornerback in the NFL, according to the NFL execs, coaches, and scouts.
Well, there you go.
That's up 2 spots. Last year he was 10th. So after this bad year he had, even the NFL people that see him every day, respect him, know him, even they're saying he had a great year. He went up 2 spots on the cornerback list on these, rankings, so to speak. Fantastic, right? His highest ranking was 3rd in the cornerback. He was ranked 3rd by some people. He had some, he was unranked out of the top 10 in some people's rankings, but he was ranked 3rd as his best. He ended up ranked 8th, which is fantastic for Trayvon Diggs. You know what else is fantastic? Marco Seppian dropping that $2 holler right there, the J-Lou 2.
Ooh.
Let's hear what he has to say as he is still in 2nd place, trying to crawl up that board, but he's back to 100 points on the Stream Boss. What did the man say?
He said, it's like quarterback and O-line. We have no one else, regardless.
Yeah, go back to his other question, too, by the way. I'll hit back to Trayvon Diggs in a minute here, but what was his first question I kind of didn't get to touch on? I know you touched on it.
About the O-line depth and Gallup?
Yeah. What was the question? It was just, what do we think about the O-line?
I'd like to know how the O-line depth and Gallup.
The O-line depth is Farniok. Well, Let's Go, to me, is the best option on the tackle side, but he's a guy that could play guard as well. You got at center. Farniok's the center right now, the backup center. Lindstrom behind him, and other guys like Chuma Odoga. We gotta see how he does. The rookie, Awesome Richards, and T.J. Bass. Who knows? It's an undrafted guy, but you know the answer, Mark. It ain't that damn good. The depth after our starting 5 is a big drop off, and that's training camp. That's preseason. That's what we want to see in this next month and a half as we get, before the season starts. That's what we have to figure out. And again, I believe we should have added a Dalton Reisner, still might, in this first week of training camp. We shall see. As far as the receiver spot, was it Gallup?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gallup, I think he's going to be fine. I'm not too worried about Gallup. I think he'll be, no matter what, he's going to be better than next year at the very least. And that's a lot. That's going to be, a little better is a lot for us from what we're getting with Brandon Cooks and McCarthy playbook change. The 30% change could make or break this team this year. No joke on that. So, just I want to make sure I answered it. That's all.
Yeah, Marco Seppian rolling through with another $2 holler.
Another J-Lou too?
Yes, it is.
What did the man say? Oh, there it is. All right.
Do they look good or still overhyped?
As far as the lineman he's talking about?
Yeah, or Gallup, I'm assuming as well.
Oh, well, Gallup is fine. Gallup, it's just about him being okay as far as the injury is concerned. As far as the offensive linemen, I don't think anybody's overhyping them. At least if the Joneses have, and they probably will, I'm not listening to them. I don't know. I'm not overhyping. I think there's a big drop-off. And I think the Cowboys are rolling the dice, hoping they got enough in there. I think that's a big risk. But again, McCarthy is I got to give McCarthy credit here. Because McCarthy, he's kind of taking a leap and saying, if I'm not going to get help from the Joneses, I got to have a game plan that's going to kind of absorb the deficiencies that I'm working with here, which is when an offensive lineman gets hurt, we have to drop a lot of our expectation of what that offensive lineman is going to do as far as hold protection from the pass game or be able to block us long in the run game, and to open the holes as consistently. It's not going to happen. So McCarthy's working on a quick game, quick passing, little amount of reads, and I think that's the key here. When you have that hiccup of the offensive lineman having to come in there like a Farniak or a Willetsko, I think we're going to be working around. I think McCarthy's going to work around that. I actually got discussion about that, how McCarthy is literally, specifically, going to help Dak Prescott this year. And other people, we've been saying this for a while, but there's other people out there, even in the damn media, that are agreeing with your guy here, MCF and MCW. So, we'll talk about that in a minute here, Mark. Appreciate the love. He's to 100 points, second place on this board. Skeptical fan kicked ass yesterday, and he's still kind of very high up on that list right now. So, he's doubled it up as yesterday. So, he's in a big, nice lead for now. Marco Seppi in second, Jason Renfro in third. First on the Cash App, though. Now, finishing up with Trayvon Diggs, he's still whispering that shh on the screen. I told you his rankings, right? Ranked third as the highest. He was unranked on some boards here, but he ended up being the 8th highest ranked cornerback. You know who's not on this list? Stephon Gilmore. Oh. But you look at PFF listings, and you see Stephon Gilmore is ranked higher than Trayvon Diggs. So, I don't give a shit. You know what I care about? We have two solid goddamn cornerbacks that are top 10 in whatever list you want to use. Trayvon Diggs is top 10 on the PFF list and on this list by the execs, coaches, and scouts. While you're looking at the Stephon Gilmore, he's also ranked top 10 on PFF and also had like the 9th best freaking cornerback rating last year in when it comes to coverage. So we got some great corners in this year. Let's see what happens. Neither of them are signed for next year. But I'm not worrying about that right now. I can't. It's not my job. That's the Jones' job. I'm here to talk about our Cowboys, our love for our Cowboys, and to be as realistic as possible. We got the right corners this year. Next year, who knows? Now, as far as these scouts and experts and stuff like this, they basically said that, this risk-reward corner, that's what they rate him, basically. He's a classic risk versus reward kind of cornerback that, again, tilts the game with splash interceptions, but also can, blow a big play here and there with his chance taking.
I was just about to say, that's the type of risk.
That's what kind of player he is.
For example, if you have, just to kind of use a different example, right? If you have a quarterback who is known for being a gunslinger, right? Well, the unfortunate side effect of that means that he's probably going to get picked off in a very ugly fashion when it happens.
Yeah, or more often at times, yeah.
So, just to put
but he's have bigger plays here and there because he's a gunslinger, right? So that's what Trayvon Diggs doing on the other side.
A gunslinging cornerback.
So again, at that risk reward corner, he is a NFL personnel evaluator pointed out that all offensive coordinators should run a lot of double moves on Trayvon Diggs to make him bite, and that is what kind of been the hit on him. Double moves, he gets. But again, you got to remember, they going off of the practices, right? Where you have the Simi Fehoko, who's taller and faster. And he's doing a double move on Trayvon Diggs with no safety. Remember that guy. It didn't happen that much in the season. When we had safeties, trust me, they ain't going back there. They're not hitting Trayvon Diggs aside. So I hear about the double moves. They can do double moves all day. You got a safety, you're covered. You got a safety, you're good. It's hard to argue, though, when you look at his 49 pass breakups, 17 interceptions since 2020. Again, every team in the NFL values ball production. Trayvon Diggs shows it on the stats, on the analytics, everywhere. And that's why a lot of voters put him in the top 3. So I said before this past season, I said he's a top 5 corner, but I could see him as a top 10. He's still top 10 now entering this year. And some people see him as a top 3. Impressive. Now, other NFL personnel people said, quote, I think he's gotten better at gambling. So the risk, a little bit better with the risk taking. He said, I think he's gotten better gambling. It's still a hindrance to his game, in my opinion, but I think if he can be more calculated with his ways, he can be viewed more like an Asante Samuel Sr. Not Jr., but I guess it's the same guy there. Again, Asante Samuel, I think he was drafted the same time. We could have had him instead of Kelvin Joseph. Think about that. That's the following year. So, again, guys, with Diggs...
Talk about shoulda, woulda, coulda.
I'm telling you. Explosive cornerback like Trayvon Diggs reached 20 mile per hour on 36 different plays since 2020, which is number 1 per Next Gen Stats. So he's not the speediest guy, but he's faster than you may think. He's got that. He has that maintained acceleration. And again, do not sleep on Trayvon Diggs. He's ranked 8th in the NFL, and I like it. I agree with that. What did the man Mark Hovsepian have to say, baby, with that 5 on it?
Much love, Mark. Appreciate you. And he said, this will be a good season to see how good Diggs is for any doubters.
I agree.
Till now, there's been crap next to him, and people would just,
attack
pick
the
on
other
the other
side.
side. Exactly. So then Trayvon's standing there like a tiny little unused island.
Well, that's what I love about this. Is one of the keys that I'm going to keep always talking about this year, and that is you got this guy in the mix here, Stephon Gilmore. Now, you throw Stephon Gilmore on the other side, this ain't no fucking Anthony Brown. This ain't no Nashawn Wright. This ain't no fucking scrub. No offense to these guys, but come on now. Stephon Gilmore is like a second Trayvon Diggs. Now you got 2 Trayvon. Now where are you going to throw? You're going to attack DaRon Bland, who's a freaking ball hawk. 5 picks in a rookie year. He didn't even play. He played like 13. He played like 11 games. DaRon Bland, attack the man. I dare you. Fresno State, 5th rounder. I talked about him, baby, like the day after the season ended 2 years ago. I said this guy would be loved to be picked like in the 6th round. He got him in the 5th. We got him in the 5th, and I'm happy. This guy's a starter. You got J. Lou, right? The J. Lou 2s. His number 2. Well, will he make the team? I'm assuming he will, but again, you can't never have too many cornerbacks. So I think Jordan, you saw that last year. We lost one. It went almost to crap. We lost the second one. It went to shit.
Yeah.
So my point is that when you have Jordan Lewis as your 4th, because remember he's still rehabbing, guys. It's going to take him a while to get back on that field consistently. So DaRon Bland's starting. I'm going to put my word on that. But Jordan Lewis is right there with them in the rotation. He's going to get some snaps at times. And again, we just got to find a more solid outside guy because you got Israel Mukuamu working in the middle. I know Kelvin Joseph working a little bit in that cornerback spot as well, that slot corner. So we'll see how all this comes to light. But here's the key here, Mark Hovsepian. I believe we talked about this yesterday, with our defensive front 4 and up to 6 guys in coverage, how are you going to beat us? There's not many teams that have that kind of defense out there. Even the best defenses don't have that kind of first and second level punch that we have. We really have it. That works in concert with each other. When you have the front 4 and not 5, when you got 4 guys going in, and you got 7 guys, you got a linebacker in the middle, and you got 6 guys that are cornerbacks and safeties in coverage. Guys like Trayvon Diggs, Stephon Gilmore, DaRon Bland at corner. And then the other guys are like Jaron Kearse or Donovan Wilson or Malik Hooker at safety. And you got the front 4 of Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, Sam Williams, I'm hoping, right? Osa in the middle as a pass rush situation. That could be deadly for every single team we play this year. And that would make it very difficult for them to gain any yardage on us. We'd have to miss a tackle. We'd have to have a penalty, grab a face mask by accident to ruin pretty much any drive, in my opinion. This defense should rock out with our cocks out. That's it. And Trayvon Diggs, because the Jones are not going to sign him, I don't think they're going to sign him this year. They're going to wait till after the season. They're going to have to pay about $2 or $3 million at least more, because I think he's going to have a hell of a year, Trayvon Diggs, because they're going to have to pick on him. Gilmore's on the other side, and now Trayvon Diggs might get 7-8 picks this year. Gilmore might get 4 or 5. Because they don't want to test either guy. Eventually, you have to test somebody. And DaRon Bland will probably pick up another 5 or 6. I don't know. I know that's a lot of picks. Trust me. It could happen with the front line we got and the back end that we have. I'm looking forward to this. And I'm right there with you, Mark. This should be the year we see everything. We see the best of Trayvon Diggs. But that means we also have to pay him. This will be the elite money we got to pay him now if he's going to show out like that. And then who we're going to put on the other side next year? Are we going to put another Anthony Brown? Because then he's not going to be worth that money again. Everyone's going to be screaming it's not right. What's going on here? So, anyways, I'm going to slow down here, baby. Let you take over the reign here. Anybody has a quick comment or two? Go ahead. I need to get some water.
Mark Hovsepian, of course, with that $5 holler here. I know you already read it, so just making sure that I was going to give my thoughts on it.
Oh, I thought you did. Okay, go ahead.
No, I touched on it for a second, I think, but then you took it over. So, but he said this would be a good season for. Okay.
Look ahead, I'm listening.
Don't worry about it.
Baby, we just heard it though. You just read it. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, go ahead. What was your thought about it?
Glad to see an improvement on the other side. So,
big time.
Stephen White said J. Lou won't play.
Not at the beginning of the year. Yeah, not at the start of the season.
So, honestly, I'm just kind of glad that we still are holding on to him just for depth purposes, but we still don't really know what the heck he's going to look like coming back from his injuries. So
yeah, that was a very bad injury he had. But if he does play, I mean, it will be this year. It just won't be. I don't see it being week 1. That's all.
So Cactus G said, "I've got a good feeling about the season if a few pieces click." So DeLunatic also throwing out there, next year it'll be Bland on the outside, opposite of 7, and then a battle royale for the slot corner.
Yeah, do you think it's Jordan Lewis, though? That's the thing. I think we got to find a whole new corner. And corner is very important. Will it be Mukuamu? Could it be him? Is he just going to be specialized usage there in the cornerback slot spot? Interesting conversation to have. The good thing is this year we are stacked, and we need to make sure we bring it this year, with the guys we have in tow. And that is 4 solid guys plus, a couple guys that have some DNA there. Supposed to be second round, third round, like Nashawn Wright and Kelvin Joseph. But we have to see about those 5th and 6th guys that's a 5th and 6th guys in our cornerback room. And safety, I mean, again, Mukuamu, our 4th guy in that group, Marquise Bell. We got a lot of guys that can come and take over for next year. But right now, this year, man, we are stacked and we are good. So.
Yep. Cute ball in the house. What's up? Much love. So, Dylan Tick saying, top 3 rated zone corner opposite the top 3 man cover corner. And then Deron Bland.
Exactly. It's almost too scary to discuss. It should be illegal.
We love to see it.
Now, the last part of this tonight here is about the offense and Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy. It's the same old thing here, but it's a little bit different flavor tonight because last night we talked about Craig Carton, who has this Carton show. On FS1, he talked a lot of crap about Dak being the biggest failure, that he's ever seen in football, it seems like. I don't know. But I thought it was interesting to see today his comment about Dak Prescott. Let me see if I can find old Dak. Put him up on the screen here for us. There he is. So Craig Carton said this about the response to his criticism of Dak being a failure. Quote, Cowboy fans are the biggest snowflakes, which comes with the front-running nature of their being and them not winning a Super Bowl in 27 years. But your reaction to my saying Dak is a failure is comical, highest paid in history. It's comical. Highest paid in history of the franchise and never passed the divisional round of the players. Is that success? And I got to remind Craig Carton that it's not the Dak Cowboys. It's the Dallas Cowboys. There's 53 total players on the team, and then you got some practice squad guys. I mean, what the fuck is he talking about? It's not on Dak only. This is why Craig Carton is a failure. Now, a guy who's definitely not a failure, Mark Hovsepian, dropping that $5 holler. What did he have to say, baby?
He said, I predict Jerry Jones will pull another Dak and wait too long. Dak will demand $50 million a year, and then Jerry Jones will pay. And in turn, we'll lose some good players. It's this year or bust.
It does feel like it's this year or bust. I don't know if Dak's going to demand 50 now. that's the number. So the thing is going to be 55 next year. So again, it's up to Jerry Jones to if he's sure about Dak, then get it done. If he's not, then start thinking about a backup plan. You can't sit there and let Dak hold all the cards if you're planning on maybe going away from him. I don't think the Cowboys are going to do that, but I do agree with Mark. They always wait too damn long to do their things, to do their actual signings, and then they end up shooting themselves in the foot. It makes the deal look worse and the player look worse because of the money. But the reality is, as Jerry Jones in the clown show, that looks worse in my mind. I see through all that shit, and I see exactly where the problem is. Jerry Jones. So, anyways, that's Craig Carton's comment, by the way. But thank you, Mark, for that drop.
I appreciate
another 5 on it. He's getting closer and closer. Skeptical fan at the top there, but I do want to give it some good news because FS1, they after this comment by this Craig Carton, the Carton show today on FS1 on Speak, which has Shady McCoy and Emmanuel Acho and Joy Taylor, they brought in a special guest, James Jones, former Packer wide receiver, James Jones, and he said what we've been saying here for how damn long? Since forever. Since McCarthy, we know the McCarthy game plan going forward here. And I'll put the big bubble over here. He'll sneak over on the side here. So there you go. So, I'll put him over here for you, baby. So he'll block me out a little bit. There you go. So anyways, the point here is James Jones on Speak on FS1 said this, that Dak Prescott's going to benefit from Mike McCarthy calling the plays. And after all this love and blank sucking of, Kellen Moore and his great offensive plays, and look, we're the top-rated offense. I mean, Mark knows, you guys know why we were the top-rated offense in the sense of points, because we blew out teams by 40 points when they were shitty defenses, and everyone thinks it's Dak. I don't put it on Dak. I think it's the play calls work against with Kellen Moore's play calls work against shitty teams. They don't work against good defenses. Not Dak. The play calls from Kellen Moore. Just watch this year. My prediction against the Chargers for our Cowboys is I believe Dan Quinn's defense is going to be able to. We're going to lock down that offense. I don't care if they're number 1. I don't care if they're 31. We're going to lock down Kellen Moore's offense because we are a good defense. And that's what's going to happen. Trust me on this. Trust me. I think we're going to blow them out. But hey, that's we're looking way into the future. But I'm just trying to make a point here. I think bad defenses, they get torn up by Kellen Moore's offense. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Kellen Moore offense works against that with a decent quarterback. But against a good defense, you're going to struggle. And I believe that's going to happen for them this year. I believe that's what happened mainly to Dak this past year. And so James Jones says, just repeating what we're saying, when Dak said that, the play calling, that quote, McCarthy's done a great job with the quickness and the, fast pace. The reads are limited, quicker, crisper slants. So these quick throws are going to be happening. This is all going to benefit Dak Prescott. And again, baby, I've been saying this how long about, McCarthy's going to put the scheme and make it fit around the skill set of Dak Prescott instead of, by the way, Dak Prescott, $40 million, which is what we should be doing from day one when we signed him. But Kellen Moore forced Dak into his scheme. Linehan forced them into the very basic scheme, right? Maybe that was the best scheme, but my point is that they threw the kitchen sink at him the next year, and it was too much for Dak to get that kind of shift. The point here I'm trying to say is, has he really ever had a good coach that can really play to his strengths? And I say no. He has not really had a coach like that. Forget Garrett. Linehan trash, and of course, Kellen Moore, again, good defenses. He gets defeated. I'm talking about Kellen Moore. So this is what we've been saying nightly on our live streams, guys. I think you guys know this. So if you go back and watch James Jones say what he said, you'll say, damn, that's MCF talking. I mean, he must be watching us. But again, the Mike McCarthy offense is going to be that's the biggest thing I think people don't understand. That is a huge help for Dak Prescott. That is going to be the biggest upgrade you're going to see on this team. You can talk about Brandon Cooks, which is going to help the offense as well. But the biggest upgrade is going to come to the quarterback, in my opinion, when it comes to this year, the way Dak, he's still going to throw interceptions, he's going to make mistakes. But I think if everyone's on the same page, and we'll see if this is true here in training camp, and as we enter week 1 of the NFL season, that's when, after those first couple of weeks, I think we're going to see this offense kind of just rolling a little bit smoother than we may think compared to like last year's ups and downs. Now, I do want to continue, baby, because we had Simi Fehoko speak. And I'm keeping both these guys on the page here because they are both involved in this play calling stuff. Simi Fehoko was asked, all right, first of all, he's very excited about the new offense of this Texas Coast offense. He's very happy because if you remember, he had the same exact offense in Stanford. I think it was Stanford. Was it Stanford? Yeah, when he played college. So they had the West Coast offense there. So he didn't have much issue transitioning from Kellen Moore to this.
Felt very familiar.
Yeah, so he felt very familiar with that. So he's very excited about the offense, and I do think it plays to his advantages. Specifically, Simi Fehoko. He already knows this kind of scheme, so he should get a boost from this, even over Jalen Tolbert. So we'll see how that battle. Again, another thing to watch in training camp, right? The 4th spot there, Jalen Tolbert, and in a scheme that fits someone like Simi Fehoko much better. So that's interesting to keep watching. But what I think is great is what he said, kind of the behind the scenes about what's going on with Mike McCarthy's offensive scheme and how the players are reacting to it. He said, quote, with McCarthy calling the plays, it's been like a breath of fresh air. And as far as the team goes, all of us are very happy with the way the plays are going to be called. Sounds like it's faster. They like this. Also, he said, quote, but we're very excited for the wide receiver core. We are ready to light it up. So I think this could be just like, bullshit talk. It just sounds like everything's a lot easier, a lot quicker. The way that the plays are being called, it's a lot smoother. Something that we did not see with Kellen Moore last year, and that has to affect. That must affect the pace of the offense, the flow of the offense, the ability of the quarterback and the receivers and everybody to flow better in a group, right? So already we're getting the feel that the way that the system is getting installed here by McCarthy, the way the offense is going, the players, for the majority of these guys, they love it. They feel good in it. And again, they feel like this is going to be a a very smooth transition to the McCarthy kind of quicker reads, quicker up-tempo style, which is going to help, again, like I said, and I'm going to say it again, help Dak Prescott. The last thing I'm going to say, guys, is the running of a mobile quarterback. Now, it doesn't mean running the ball, but a mobile quarterback. The quarterback position, I want to know what you think about this. The quarterback position accounted for 21% of the rushing touchdowns last year. So, again, 1 out of 5 touchdowns in the NFL was running by a quarterback. In 2010, it was only 11% of the touchdowns. 1 out of every 10. Now it's 1 out of every 5. Big jump there. Quarterbacks are used in the goal line. We talked about Jalen Hurts factor, right? Quarterbacks also accounted for 16%. 16% of all rushing yards last season. That's a lot for quarterbacks to be 16% of the NFL's rushing yards. So we're getting rid of running backs and we're using more quarterback runs. That's the, by the way, that 16%, that's the most in NFL history. So the game has changed. For sure. And the key, I think, is if your quarterback is not... It's not about running the... I don't think Dak has to get 300 yards, 400 yards rushing.
I was just about to say, do you think part of it is... Obviously, there's a variety of factors. It's not like you can look at one thing and just say, oh, this is the reason. But I feel like part of it, too, is, again, the types of quarterbacks that are currently in the league. I mean, even guys like Josh Allen and stuff like that occasionally... run the ball in and stuff like that. So, no,
well, not occasionally. No, I was going to say that he's actually I think he has like 36 touchdowns. Rushing. Yeah.
Look, all I'm trying to say is that, yes, NFL teams are getting a little bit more creative in the ways that they use the QB and try to score and all that stuff. But I do think it's more of a specific scheme thing where teams in very specific scenarios will run their QB mainly in the red zone type of thing. So, because you're seeing more teams adapt to that, especially as, again, we move away from the running back in an overall sense, someone still has to pick up some of those runs. And at least from a strategic standpoint, the quarterback makes sense in a lot of scenarios. Yeah,
definitely in the red zone. We specifically talked about the red zone situation and how it's advantageous if your quarterback can, be good with the ball, not fumble, not get killed down there. He's, it's always the safest play to run your quarterback. But I just want to say one thing. Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, a couple other quarterbacks out there, Daniel Jones, Josh Allen, they are like the heavy, I would say they're the upside. Like they have a lot of rushing touchdowns. And then everybody else is kind of like middle or at the end, a big drop off. As my point is that I think it made it a lot more skewed the numbers a little bit more than maybe in years past because there's teams now going with their quarterbacks to be almost part of the running game full time. And because of that, it seems like, not everybody is there yet. You can't do that with every quarterback. But the ones that can do it are utilizing their quarterbacks in that way now. More than they ever did in the past. And that's with scoring touchdowns. And that's with rushing yards. The quarterbacks are getting 16% of the rushing yards, most in NFL history. 21% of the rushing touchdowns. Like I said, it was only 11% in 2010. So my main point here, baby, in keeping, McCarthy's going to help Dak be more mobile. I think Dak's always mobile. I don't think he's not really a runner. But I think he's mobile. He's tricky. He's actually hard to sack. Last year, he's like one of the most avoided sack guys in the NFL as far as, should have been sacked and he broke the sack. So if your quarterback is not mobile and he's not like Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, he has to be extremely accurate from the pocket. But even as I say that, Aaron Rodgers is extremely mobile. He knows how to get out of stuff and shake and move. You don't have to run down his field. He knows how to do this. Remember, Dak and Aaron Rodgers. Dak gets 47 rushing yards in his first 3 games of this season. He'll only be him with 25,000 yards and Aaron Rodgers 25,000 yards, and also both those guys over 1,500 rushing yards if Dak gets 47 rushing yards in his next 3 games. So that's insane numbers there. You can see the mobility is what's important. It's not about running the ball. It's about the mobility of a quarterback that will help you. You can run sometimes and get a little bit of yardage here. It's going to help you out. 1st and 10, and you run for 4 yards. Now it's 2nd and 6. You're ahead of the chains. But if, that's an easy run. You can take it and you can slide out of bounds. Not a big, but if you're going to run him for 6 or 7 yards and put his head down, I don't like that for any quarterback, especially ours. So, it's interesting to see how things go. But I think here's the key I'm saying. I think McCarthy, like I said earlier, like James Jones said it, we've been saying it for years. Mike McCarthy is going to help Dak Prescott fit his scheme around the $40 million man instead of fitting the $40 million man against a scheme that breaks down against good defenses per Kellen Moore. So, this whole thing wraps around, whether it's mobility, whatever, we're going to see more of that from Dak as he breaks the pocket after 2 seconds or 3 seconds, extends the play with the mobility. Occasionally he'll run. Extending the play will get you bigger passes, though, down the field, more attacking that in that way. And that's what McCarthy's going to want, I think, from Dak Prescott. That's what he's seen in the last 3 years. That as the quarterback whisperer, I think we're going to finally see him being allowed. We definitely know we're going to see him being allowed to utilize Dak to his skill set and his strengths. So there you go, guys. That's pretty much it for tonight. Just, man, I finished strong when it comes to these two. And I do think it's a very important year for McCarthy and Dak Prescott to be either successful or, they're in trouble. Let's put it that way.
And to me, the biggest number one thing here, I do think, is the point that Delutic brought up. Even aside from all the statistical mumbo-jumbo, not to downgrade it and all, it's more about specifically, like he said, run Dak on a limited basis and tell him to slide and not get greedy.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a key on Dak. He's got to be able to do that. He can't just be try to be a running back and run over people.
The way you manage your risk isn't by saying, oh, well, let's just never do these plays. It's, okay, let's make sure that we're doing these as safely as possible to avoid these injuries. But, yeah, guys, I mean, we're trying to win here. Yeah. That will probably definitely include Dak Prescott running at some point or another if we want that to happen.
I agree. Look, I agree. Dak moving around in the pocket is going to help the offense, help Dak, help the scheme, help the system, and help every receiver out there because everyone's going to be on the same page compared to last year where the receiver just ran out their route, stopped. With Kellen Moore. It's just night and day, guys. And again, James Jones said he doesn't think it's going to be necessarily get the Cowboys to a Super Bowl with the McCarthy scheme helping Dak, but he does think that it's going to be a major boost to give us the chance to make a Super Bowl run with the McCarthy scheme. And I agree with him. I think that's the point. Outside of Brandon Cooks, I think this is, I guess both the same, but to me, Brandon Cooks is a player on the field. A player on the field like Brandon Cooks helps us tremendously, but if you still use the Kellen Moore offense, it's not going to help us as much as you think. When you have a scheme that fits around your quarterback and around your receivers, it's going to help the team a lot more, and you're going to get the most out of those guys. And that's what I think we're going to see this season with Dak, with Brandon Cooks, with everybody on this team, Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, Pollard, and hopefully guys like, Turpin and Deuce Vaughn and Luke Schoonmaker coming to life, Ferguson. We'll see. I'm excited to see what we're going to do, but it's definitely going to be different. Definitely different to what we saw with Kellen Moore last year. Guaranteed. And that's helping. Number 4 right in the middle of your screen, Dak Prescott. Guaranteeing that. Now, that's a wrap here on My Cowboys Family, baby. I think it's time for those shout-outs. I will shout out those that dropped the love tonight. Skeptical Fan, 2 gifted memberships today. Much love to him. And Jason Renfro with the Cash App. He's in the lead there, and he's got the last 2 weeks, so he's going for that 3-peat. Skeptical Fan, the gifting leader right now, a 3rd straight month right now. He could be getting that by the end of this month. He also dropped that $2 thanks as well. And don't forget the man, Mark Hovsepian. Who can forget him? Sponsor of the week. He's got 100 full points on that Stream Boss. He's had that for like 16 out of 18 weeks. Domination from the man from Hawaii, Mark Hovsepian. Always repping that star for everything. And he's currently in 2nd place on the overall board, right behind the man staying skeptical, who's in 1st place on that overall board. We'll continue this probably tomorrow or Thursday. We're definitely I think we're going to miss Wednesday or Thursday, guys. One of those 2 days. We'll be back Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, wrapping this thing up. So, but we definitely will be back here Wednesday or Thursday. Appreciate everybody here hitting that like, subscribing, that notification bell. And it's time to do those final comments/shout-outs here as we wrap it up for the stream.
Of course. Skeptical Fan, much love. Always staying skeptical. The Lunatic throwing out there, play smart, because our defense will get the ball back to our offense.
Exactly. No stupid, forced stuff from our offense, and let the defense do the magic.
Cameron co-signing that statement, by the way. Again,
yes, we all are.
That, you want to talk about how analytics can maybe, again, help you when it comes to making those gut decisions. I think this is another one that could fall under that category.
Agree.
So, let me keep going here. Of course, Q Ball, much love. Stephen White representing. Eric Wallace in the house. Mike Akulian, take it easy. We have...
Well, Q Ball said you know your football, and that is true. She does. Very well.
I have my moments. So, rolling back here. Cactus G, Double R. Just going back, making sure. I think that's everybody here so far.
Well, so far that's it. So far it's so good. It's over. Guys, thank you for rocking here with us once again on another My Cowboys Family. You did the shout-outs on the drops of love, the leaderboards, the chat. Everybody, can't do this without you guys. And never forget, baby, why do we do this here on My Cowboys Family each and every day? 6 years plus here on My Cowboys Family on YouTube.
So
I asked you, why do we do this?
it's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Hell yeah, guys. Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. We're always repping that star for everything. And the number one thing here on 6 years and beyond, 7th year here on MCF on YouTube. Never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6 and beyond. We got 5 on it right now. All we need is one more to get that 6 and beyond. You know what I mean? So, guys, you've been rocking it in the chat all night long. Thank you for your drops of knowledge. We learned, you learned, we all learned together here on MCF. And that's what it's about. So appreciate you guys in the chat dropping the knowledge. And also appreciate the drops of love from above. Skeptical fan Jason Renfro, Marco Seppian, and now Brandon James Shea in the house with that dollar holler. A little Go Cowboys here at the buzzer. Appreciate you, Brandon. Much love to you and everybody else who dropped the love, the leaders, and all that good stuff. And once again, you cannot truly do this without your love and support on all sides of this thing. So thank you guys. On that note, we are dropping out and clocking out for the night officially, guys. Before we can do that, relock and reload tomorrow or Thursday for the next show and updates. Again, guys, you're going to have video clips and stuff pouring out as we get closer and closer to training camp. So stay tuned here. Hit the like, but make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get all our video notifications. But now that now it's time to get out of here. Before we can drop out for the night, what do we got to do?
We got to drop the beat.
Oh yeah, beat's been dropped, guys. It's a wrap here on My Cowboys Family. Another one in the book. Another one in the books, as we say. And thank you all for rolling with us here, guys, from start to finish. Watching the replay, leave your comments down below. Give us your thoughts, good, bad, or ugly. I'll try to respond to them, whether we like it or not. We'll get back on you with you guys and your thoughts, and appreciate the interaction tonight once again here on My Cowboys. I'm going to give you guys a little heads up. Remind those other Eagle fans that are rolling around, there's some basic mathematics. No matter where you are on this Earth, planet, or universe, the lunatic showing us 5 is always greater than 1. F Philly, cry Eagles, cry. You know the deal. You know what we do here in FCF. They don't stop, baby. You don't stop. Guys, thank you again for another Cowboys chat here on My Cowboys Family. Talked about it all. The new analytics guy here, a third piece to that puzzle. That's got us as one of the best analytics crews in the NFL. Talked about 7-11. That's today, or was today. And, some top cornerback news there from Trayvon Diggs as far as his abilities coming in 2023. And then, of course, talk about Dak Prescott, Mike McCarthy, Dak running the ball, right? Mobility there. But you got McCarthy's offense, the scheme. It's all there to help number 4. And if you help number 4, you help the offense. Go Cowboys. Right here in MCF, it's about that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything. Never forget the number one thing right here on this channel, right here on My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone in the house. Have a good night. Stay safe out there. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another one. Peace. And oh yeah, never, ever forget, go Cowboys!